I think, first of all, I think you have to rely on your unconscious process. And you think about this idea you have, the big idea, and after a while, it will deliver to you some scenes. And then, the more you look at it, the more you start saying, well, yeah, you start asking yourself, well, do I need this scene? Do I need that scene? And the good ones will stay, and the bad ones will go away. And if you find yourself inventing 17 scenes, and it's like, that's wrong. You need one scene, probably, you can feel when you're working too hard. And I do think, one of the things that I find just, fascinating about this job of mine is this unconscious process that goes on, where you see it developing. One of the best examples of it was on Starship Troopers, where there was a sequence that we had been working on. We've been working on the script for 3 or 4 years, and there was a sequence that had. Are we about running out of film here?
2 minutes.
Okay. There was a sequence that I won't go through the whole thing, but there was a sequence that we had developed, and it had 4 or 5 moves in it. And on the day we were shooting part of it, there was a scene where, and it was a scene where Johnny Rico was, where the sergeant was gonna die, and Johnny Rico and the other troopers are retreating, and he was gonna be left behind. And Paul turned to me and said, Johnny Rico should really shoot the sergeant. And I said, yeah, you're right. And so we decided to add it that morning. And we did it. And then Paul turned to me and said, it's really interesting. He shoots the sergeant, and it's like he's shooting the father figure. And then he shoots the father figure, and then this giant mythological beast, it comes out of the ground. And I suddenly saw a whole sequence had come together. Only I would have seen it. But the sequence was amazing, because it went from the killing of the father to this, to the killing of the girl, to this, to the next girl, to that, to that. And it was like, wow, how did that happen? And it was something, and what was amazing to me was I had remembered thinking 2 years earlier, like, if only I could get a sequence like this, where this is linked to that, to that, to that, to that, to that. And it was almost as though I had had my wish fulfilled. Now, it doesn't matter that anybody else will ever see that, but the sequence was there. And Paul and I had both went, oh, wow, look at that. And I don't know where that came from. It just all kind of went, it was like a puzzle piece coming in, and there it was. And it was like, wow, I didn't do that. It was just amazing, how it all kind of fit into place. And I do think that I do think there's a big part of this that as you work on and on with it, I have more faith that you think about this idea, you think about it, and then you just kind of throw it down. And the more faith you have in that, the more those scenes will just go. And sometimes the first thing you throw down is some of the best stuff, and that's stuff that'll stick.